I guess it's just a clutch points mock draft. Okay, so they got Gray Zabel, guard, North Dakota State, for the 28th pick. This pick may surprise some Lions fans on night one of the 2025 NFL Draft. In this scenario, the Lions pick Zabel over the top edge rusher on the board, Donovan Ezeraku. What do you guys think about that? If we were to pick a Gray Zabel over a Donovan Ezeraku, crash out or nah? You guys tell me in the chat. Everybody who's in here, get your opinions in. Let them be heard. I definitely will read all of them. So it says, personally, I would be thrilled with either Ezeraku or Zabel. My gut tells me the Lions would have a hard time passing up Zabel if he's still available at 28. Detroit brought Zabel in for a top 30 visit back in March, per Mike Payton of A to Z Sports. Mike Payton. All right. The Lions do not exclusively draft players they've brought in for a visit, but it does show some interest on their part. Zabel shot up draft boards after a strong performance at the Reese's Senior Bowl. Zabel is now viewed as a fringe first-round pick who boasts great positional flexibility. Detroit can draft him and figure out where to play him during training camp. With Donovan Ezeraku on the board, I, sir, am crashing out. I do understand that Donovan Ezeraku is not their prototypical sized defensive end. I think he's 6'2", 240, something of this nature. So he's a little bit shorter and a little bit lighter than what they actually like. However, I think you fix the... I can't call it a mistake of letting James Houston go, okay? Because I don't know if Kelvin Shepherd is going to. This is the thing, right? We all believe that we know what the Lions like as far as because of what their defensive scheme is. But remember, we do have a new defensive coordinator. He did cut his teeth under Aaron Glenn, but maybe he didn't like everything that Aaron Glenn did. And we have heard from Dan Campbell that there are going to be some tweaks and some changes. Not anything major, but is it major to say, okay, let's transition from a 6'4" guy who's 280 like a Josh Pascal, and let's go to a 6'2", 6'3" guy who is between, let's say 240 pounds and 270 pounds, right? Let's take a flyer on this guy and step away from that part of it. We don't know if that's going to happen or not. Now, Ezeraku does have some very interesting fluctuation in productivity. His 17 sacks this season are probably not the same as Mike Green's 17 sacks, because Mike Green got it all out the mud. Donovan Ezeraku has a lot of cleanup sacks. Okay, so if you're getting cleanup sacks, you're getting credit for sacks that you didn't initiate. Are you really that good? And is that why you slid down the board all the way to pick number 28? That's the question. But here, let me see what y'all are saying in the chat. Detroit Fan Man says, I need a big man at 28. Zabel works for me, especially if they think Ezeraku is simply too small at 245. I don't think James Houston's ankle fully recovered. His bend was never the same after he returned. Had to let him go. So if that's the case, Detroit Fan Man, because of the ankle, Donovan Ezeraku is a similar size, similar sack production on the college level, at a higher level of competition in college. Do you has very freaky bend as well. Do you try to replace a James Houston because you have a healthy Donovan Ezeraku who's available there, or do you think he's too small? That's the question that we have. Tactical Sports said, yeah, that would be a crash out. Now, the next pick I'm going to reveal is going to make it even more of a crash out. Okay, are y'all ready for this? All right, this is crash out central. I don't even know. Can y'all hear my sounds? Let me play one, because I know I can't hear them, and I don't know what happened there and why I can't hear them. They were working fine until yesterday. Let me see. I mean, the mic is still connected to the sound machine. Yeah, I can't hear it at all. Can y'all hear that? Let me know in the chat. Bro, I got 2 of them cans. I'm gonna have to drink both of them. Both of them. And if I get like some burst of energy like 4 hours later, then I know it somehow worked. Can y'all hear the sound? Did y'all hear the drive sound? I don't know if you can hear it. Let me know in the chat. Okay, y'all can hear it. Okay. All right, cool. What up, though, Chip Bradshaw? Detroit Fan Man says, this DE class is deep enough to take a guy like Josiah Stewart later. The OL class simply isn't as deep. I'd rather get the DE, of course, but only if it's Brad's choice, and I don't know if Ezeraku is too light. All right, Detroit Fan Man, I need you to keep that same energy. Okay? Keep the same energy. Are y'all ready? All right. Here we go. With the 60th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Tate Ratledge, guard, Georgia. The Lions double up on guard, adding Ratledge in the second round. Ratledge feels like a perfect fit for the Lions. He is an impressive athlete who boasts plenty of intangibles that the Lions seem to favor during the Holmes era. Ratledge was a team captain at Georgia and received plenty of praise from head coach Kirby Smart after the Sugar Bowl. Ratledge is also a relentless guard who is an absolute mauler on running plays. He would compete with Zabel, Graham Glasgow, Christian Mahogany, and Coyote Awasika. I don't know why people can't pronounce his name. Awasika. Okay. I got caught up in the hype of Iwasika. Like when they first said his name and I hadn't seen it, I was like, Coyote Iwasika. Is that it? We got a Japanese guard on our team. He couldn't be further from Japan if you tried. But yes, Coyote Awasika for one of Detroit's 2 starting guard spots in training camp. Oh, this draft is not finished. I'm telling y'all, this draft ain't finished, y'all. Boy, is it not finished. Y'all gonna learn today. Now I like doubling up, and it's extremely Holmesian, but not at OG this year. See, I told you. It's not finished, Detroit Fan Man. It's not finished. What do the rest of y'all think? It's more coming. I'm telling you, boy, that whoever did this draft, we just gonna call him Pookie. Hashtag, if you know, you know. Use the hashtag. We gonna call him Pookie. Pookie did this draft. Okay. And we know what Pookie is famous for. If you know, you know. If you don't know, Pookie was a very famous character. He's a crackhead, okay? That's what Pookie is. Pookie is a crackhead. He smokes crack from a pipe on the streets. Okay? It's coming. There's more coming. There's more crack coming. Chip Bradshaw says, yeah, I'm not good with that. Detroit Fan Man says the draft is supposed to just be hosted by the Packers and not have them make all of our picks too. Oh, the Packers are making our picks. Somehow they kidnapped Brad Holmes and they kept him locked up in their own war room. And they're like, look at Brad over there. Look at Brad with that gag in his mouth, trying to pound the table. Pick another guard. Pick another guard for him. Go ahead. All right. I won't keep y'all in any more suspense. Chip Bradshaw said, you ain't lying about Pookie. I'm not going to keep y'all in any more suspense. Let's continue the Pookian nature of this draft. And then after this pick, there's another situation which it just doesn't seem right. Okay. All right, here we go. All right. With the 102nd pick of the 2025 NFL draft, the Detroit Lions select Jonas Sanker, safety, Virginia. The idea of Detroit adding Sanker continues to gain steam. Personally, I would be thrilled with this pick in the 3rd round. The Lions will host Jonas Sanker on a top 30 visit on Wednesday, according to NFL Network's Tom Pelissero. Sanker has all of the necessary skills and traits to become Detroit's new 3rd safety. He would likely play a role similar to what Ifeatu Melifonwu has over the past few seasons. Sanker primarily played strong safety at Virginia, but he also spent some time as a free safety and in the slot. That versatility could be very attractive to the Lions. The Falcons, Commanders, Panthers, and Ravens will also have top 30 visits with Sanker. I am confident the Lions are interested in him, so we may see a trade up the board to snag him. If Sanker does fall to the 102nd pick, Brad Holmes might sprint the card in like he did with Penei, Sewell, and Aidan Hutchinson. This man's on drugs. So we took our biggest need in the draft and we have not addressed it in the first 3 rounds. Now you see the kind of mess that I'm talking about. When I say that if Brad Holmes doesn't pick a defensive end in the 1st round, I'm going to be upset because we got to wait 24 hours to see what he has done or what he's going to do next. In this scenario, it's nothing. He's going to take another guard to double up from what he did in the 1st round, and then he's going to take a safety because replacing Ifeatu Melifonwu is more important than getting to the passer. Ifeatu Melifonwu, we allowed to go to Miami for $4 million, not because he was a bad player. He's a very good player, but because he was a part-time player, because he was always injured. We allowed him to walk out of the door for $4 million. At this point, you draft this guy in the 3rd round, I'd rather have kept Iffy for that $4 million. And with us, it would have been $4 million of incentives, just like Marcus Davenport's contract. This man is smoking. This man is smoking drugs. Alex Zimmerman said, dude, Derek would have a stroke. Bro, I don't know how many of us wouldn't. Shout out Derek, by the way. I don't know. I think we should be doing a show before the draft. I want to try to get him in before there's something that I'm working on. I'm working diligently on it, and I want to have him on, and I want to have some others on, test it out. However, I think we need to get to our NFC Championship game show before the draft, so we can finally put a bow on it. So Chip Bradshaw says only way this works is if we bring in a D in free agency. Even then, kind of questionable. If Cash Doll is working her magic, we see Big Z and Cash Doll at the Pistons game. If she doing what she need to do, okay. And I'm not gonna get into the details of anything. then we bring Big Z back. This draft is okay. Okay. Only if we bring back someone of the caliber of Big Z. Okay, because I think what was the stat in the last 5 years as far as getting pressure on the quarterback? Big Z has been in the top 5. Only if we bring back the caliber of a Big Z do you make these moves. But since the person hasn't stated that you make these moves, because Big Z is back, he's smoking crack. Now, the next move that he makes is questionable because I haven't seen this player go solo. Okay? Remember, we are now into the 4th round. All right, are you ready? With the 149th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Jared Ivey, edge out of Ole Miss. Okay, now it's not this. I'm sorry. Wait. Yes, it is the 4th round. Okay. But it's a trade. We traded up in the 4th round. Detroit moves, down the board? Hold on. Which pick did we trade then? This doesn't make sense. So we picked a safety at 102, which was our 3rd round pick. Correct? And then 149th is in the 4th round. But it said we moved down 4 slots. Well, how are 40? Well, what's it? We moved down 120. I can't talk. We moved down 20 slots. So how did we have the 129th pick? Did we have that? Is this 102? That's a comp pick, right? Okay, I got you. All right. Okay, it makes a little bit more sense now. All right, Detroit moves down the board, allowing Dallas to move up nearly 20 spots to select Nebraska cornerback Tommy Hill. Figure? Anybody? Any takers? Ask Tommy, he'll figure it out. Here are the complete trade terms. Lions received the 2025 5th round pick. It's a 5th round pick. My God, it's a 5th. It's worse than I thought. Okay. The 2025 5th round pick, 149th overall. The 2025 5th round pick, 174th overall. The Cowboys received the 2025 4th round pick, 130th overall. Okay, so nearly 20 spot, 130. Okay. The 2026 7th round pick from Cleveland. The Lions finally address edge rusher. They finally address edge rusher by trading out of the 4th round into the 5th round and selecting Ivy. He's more experienced as an edge rusher than Houston was coming out of Jackson State. However, many scouts are uncertain whether he can become a 3-down edge rusher in the NFL. Jared Ivey has been projected in the 2nd and the 3rd round. I've never seen that he would be available in the 5th. Right? There are doubts that it's not doubts. people believe you probably can get him 60th with the 60th overall pick. The 5th round, is this dude making up like draft logic of his own? The 5th round. Ivy has a strong build and has proven that he can get after the quarterback after 3 seasons in the SEC. If the Lions drafted Ivy, they would likely use him as a rotational pass rusher on obvious passing downs. Okay. And then we round this out with Sean Dolak, linebacker, Buffalo, 174th pick. Ricky White III, wide receiver, UNLV, 196th pick. Ty Hamilton, defensive tackle, Ohio State, 228th overall pick. Isis Waxter. That's not a real person's name. Isis Waxter. Not Raxter, Waxter. Cornerback, Villanova, 244th overall pick. You know how they say F's in the chat? I'm saying F's on this draft. Jared Ivey is our plan to address the edge position. And we waited. Not that we waited. See, like Tactical Spork is mad about Broderick Martin because we traded up to draft Broderick Martin. In this scenario, we have not taken an edge rusher, and we have an edge rusher sitting there staring us in the face, and we want to take him, but we trade down 20 spots out of the 4th round to take this edge rusher in the 5th round with no guarantees that he's going to be there. Just so you can pick up an extra, wait, hold on. Let me make sure, because, you know, I like to be accurate, like I said. What were the terms of the trade? Just so you could pick up an extra 5th round pick. You traded out of the 4th round and very well could cost yourself Jared Ivey if that's who you're looking at. So you could get an extra 5th round pick. Y'all rate that draft. Y'all go ahead. Have at it. Have a field day. Chip Bradshaw says, you can't argue with crackhead logic. Run the ball. Yo. What up, though? Bro, this is possibly the worst mock draft I have seen. What up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy, Motor City Don P here. Listen, if you want to continue keeping your Lions news pragmatic, if you want to keep getting the stats and not none of that static, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share and let everybody know what's going on around here. And turn on your notifications, because how else would you know that we're up in here keeping your Lions news pragmatic? Appreciate you once again, and we are out. Peace.